6 hours and 46
I'll try and get you one.
Only 6 hours and 46 minutes of camera battery time. We've got loads of time.
I would hope it doesn't go that long. So. Can we start?
Well, I mean, you're the guy in charge of this.
This. Cool. So this is Gale.
This is Gale.
This is Gale, we call it Gale. I don't know why, but we've had Gales for years.
Gales or
Gales, plural.
Yeah.
So Gale, all the ride wraps production used to be done on one of these. Just print kits on, weed all the background and then number them piece by piece by piece. You'll see in a minute.
Okay.
Now we do it slightly differently now. But anyway, Gale does a great job. She's going to print this off for us today. So got your bike loaded in already. Cervélo 23, soloist 54. Gloss.
There's a teddy bear on your arm.
There is a teddy bear, yeah.
He looks like
a puppy.
A puppy.
Yeah.
Teddy bear's got a migraine.
He does look happy. So you get 3 green lights. There's 1. Very suspenseful as well. 1 green light. 2. 3.
Print. Done this before.
Exactly.
I should probably say what we're doing today.
Yeah.
So today we are at Cycle Exchange in Kingston and I'm with Ride Wrap, still slightly broken. But what we're going to do today is we're going to do a wrap on this. So this is my new soloist frame, which I think some of you might have seen. It's the bike that Cervélo bought out start of this year, some point.
Yeah, roughly.
Basically came out at some point in the close proximity to now. But anyway, Brandon was like asking if I would be interested in protecting the frames a bit more. Also potentially looking at giving a new lease of life to some of the older bikes I've got, like the Aspero, which is pretty tired. So anyway, we've got the soloist with us today. It is brand new, hasn't been built up, getting it built up in a couple of weeks, and we're going to protect it because this is going to be the main bike that I use for a lot of long, silly bike rides. And it's gold, so you want to keep that gold paint job nice.
Make it bling.
Blinger. Does this make it more gold?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Gale's done her job. Now the fun bit. So pull off the excess, and then we'll reveal the parts for your soloist.
God, the detail is pretty nuts. Yeah. The level of detail. So this is basically a full custom wrap.
This is our tailored kit or tailored level protection.
Yeah.
So tailored level protection is specific to each make, model, size, and frame material. So your soloist in a 54 will have a very, very different kit to obviously a 56 or a 60 or 1 or something like that, just due to the difference in geometry and whatnot. So each individual bike, model, size, frame material have its own little jigsaw piece that goes together, which our designers are constantly hard at work putting together for us, so that we can protect bikes.
Now, this is obviously the top this is the top level option of what you do. Exactly. You do various options as well, right?
Exactly. So we have Ride Wrap do protection in 3 different levels. So our tailored kit is obviously the highest level. The next step down is what we call the covered kit. Our covered kit is a universal fit kit for any bike. It gives you about 60 to 70% protection depending on what bike you have. And we make those kits in 5 different genres. So we have a mountain bike, a dual suspension mountain bike, we have a hardtail, we have a road gravel bike, we have an e-bike and a steel frame bike as well.
Steel frame obviously because the tubes are so much more smaller.
Yeah. So if you go through the different styles of kit there, the different pieces will change to match the kind of geometry and the shape of those bikes. So an e-bike will have a much thicker down tube piece. Yep. A road bike have much skinnier with real skinny chain stays and seat stays and stuff like that as well. And then the lowest level protection is our essential kit, which again is a universal fit kit for any bike. We just make it in one style though, and it covers, as the name might suggest, just the essential areas. So top tube, down tube, and little bits for kind of heel rub on the seat and chain stays, as well as some little kind of protection circles against cable rub or something like that.
So this is special plastic, right?
It is very special plastic. So this is, I believe, the world's only bike-specific PPF. Okay. So PPF being paint protection film. at Ride Rack, we used automotive grade PPF for a really long time. But what we found is it wasn't quite getting everything we needed in terms of protection for a bike. So what we did is we developed our own film, which is a much thicker, more durable product. So it's 9mm PPF, 9mm being 9/1000 of an inch, I believe. We also softened the adhesive, what we call a peel strength. And what that does is, because all bikes or paint on bikes aren't made the same, we don't want to damage it or anything like that when we peel the piece off, because it defeats the purpose of protecting your bike, right? So we made the adhesive much kinder to a paint on a bike, just so it doesn't cause any more damage. Installation toolkit. In here, we get everything we need with the exception of the spray bottle to protect our bike. So we've got squeegee for application, microfiber for drying out the pieces and the edges. We get our install solution, cleaning wipes, and I think the most important part in here is our decals. So basically what we do, like I said, just make sure it's all nice and clean, so that we're good to go.
They can do this installation process on a existing built bike, but it's much easier doing it on something that's not been built up.
Exactly. Well, all of our kits are designed with the home installer in mind.
Yeah.
And what I mean by the home installer is not all people who ride bikes or you know, play around with bikes or something like that have either the tools or the knowledge to break it down like this, right? So usually you have a crank set, you have your cables all run, everything like that. So we've designed around all of those pieces to still give you kind of maximum coverage, but also to make sure that it's nice and easy for you to install. You don't need to break it down too much. Yeah? Cool. So with all of our kits, we suggest to start on the rear end. And the reason for that is the rear end's usually a little bit harder to install. So we have, you know, much smaller pieces, longer, skinnier, tighter radiuses and whatnot. So theory is that you start here, practice, get really, really good at squeegeeing and aligning the pieces. And by the time you get onto the front end, with all the bigger pieces, which are more visible for, you know, when someone comes to check out your bike, should be a pro, should be able to get all the bubbles out, it should be all aligned nicely and easy for you to, should look pretty, is what we're getting at.
Tidy. And also the key thing is to make sure that this side looks really tidy.
Oh, of course, yeah. We're only going to wrap half the bike today, so just drive side only.
Yeah.
So it's
so it can only fall that way.
Come printed in the box. You'll get your diagram, which shows you where the pieces go, like so, as well as the diagram layout here, which shows you all the numbers of the pieces and where you're going to put them, or where you need to know to put them. So, with the idea of starting on piece number 1, we're going to do that. So we're going to find piece number 1, which I believe is this one here. So I've got 2 bottles mixed up here. One's really soapy, one's not so soapy. And the idea of the soap and the water is it's going to allow us to squeegee the bubbles out, have a few goes at aligning it, making sure it's all nice and pretty. So move the bike around, and we go. Now this is where the pressure goes on with the camera. And I'm going to start squeegeeing. For whatever reason you haven't got this in the right spot, all you're going to do is just peel it off, if you can. Peel it up, give it another spray, have another go at realigning it.
Do you have to always make sure you've got at least one half decent fingernail?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It's not a great job for a very stressful person to choose their fingernails, so I'm pretty happy with how that's aligned. So I'm just going to leave it there for now. Now, what I can see is I've got a nice 3mm tolerance here between pieces. We've got good coverage, up against the guard. I'll wrap that around here. It should be looking pretty nice as well. And that's going to tell me I'm in the right spot, and I can squeegee the rest of the piece down. So again, just like before, peel back. Give it another spray. Now the key for this, while we're installing Ride Rack, is wetter the better.
Wetter the better.
The wetter the better.
Yes, I got that.
Yeah, just making sure. So I'm just going to work through the whole piece. and make sure that all the water's gone from underneath it. And there's no bubbles.
God, you can't even see it.
No, it's pretty cool, huh?
I mean, you can just about see the tips of it, right? But you hardly notice that.
Exactly.
That's neat.
With this one, we're actually going to put, so with bigger pieces, we use, well, actually with any pieces, we can use pieces to line up to other pieces. That's whether they're in the right spot or not. What we do is to start with the top tube, squeegee out just the top section, make sure all the water's gone, and then we get the wings, if you like, and we're just going to fold them over like this. Just like that. We'll leave them there and we can peel them up later.
And that's just to have them in, so you have an idea of the position.
Yeah. Exactly. And the reason why we squeegee out all the top first is that we do have it in the right position, we don't have to move it. Then we want to make sure there's no bubbles in here, so that when it comes to laying it back down, which we'll see in a minute, we just peel them up like this, spray some water, and then we go again. Alright, so we start with that. Pull it up like that, and we grab the head tube. Funky. It looks like a Space Invader.
It is a Space Invader. It really does.
Alright, put that in there. That to help us align the down tube. So now we can see that we've got a nice 3mm join there, 3 there, 3 there, and we know we're in the right spot for everything. Now that everything's in the right spot, go back to the start and peel that bit up. Right. Give it another spray. And you just work through either piece by piece or side by side all the pieces, all the parts that aren't stuck down. You get your squeegee and just work through that. And if you're at home and you're thinking, not sure if I've got what it takes to wrap a bike, some transferable skills. Wrapping presents, I think is a really good one. If you can really just kind of nail wrap your present, looks perfect every time.
Yeah.
I think you should be pretty good. Or putting on phone screen protectors.
Oh, that is a skill.
Always a good one, right?
How far are you through this frame now?
So just finishing out the final pieces on the actual frame. And then we've got the fork to do.
And this has taken an hour, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty efficient.
I do have the advantage of having installed more than most in terms of kits, but I'd say like average time for this is probably like 2.5 hours maybe for kind of most people doing it at home, something like that. All the pieces for each bike kind of look the same, so you can usually tell apart a non-drive chainstay to a drive side chainstay. All of the kits come with
good instructions.
Our lovely good instructions over there, so you should be able to crush it out pretty quick.
What's the fastest you've ever done one in?
36 minutes.
You've done the frame?
Frame's finished. All good. Looks very clean.
You can hardly see it. That's the bit that's so impressive.
There you go. Some cool features about the film as well is that so it's self-healing. So if you get any like
I wish I was self-healing.
If you get any superficial scratches in it, leave it out in the sun and they just disappear. So it's really cool. It's also got a hydrophobic top coat, so it's like putting a Cerakote on your bike, so mud, dirt, water, grease, whatever, tends not to stick. Just give it a hose up. It's about as much as you need to do. With our ride wrap film, we give you 10 years against yellowing and cracking. So pretty much guaranteeing the film for, you know, pretty much the life of the bike. We do have an off, which you know, I tend, you know, you try to stay on the bike mostly. But if you do have an off and damage a piece, you're able to order replacement pieces from Ride Wrap. So, you know, if you damage a chainstay and let's say the seat stay and chainstay, jump on ridewrap.com, go through, you get all the pieces, heat the film up, peel it off, put a new piece on, it looks brand new again. So that's it.
Colour. Black on black.
Black on black. The hardest part up. Oh no, I've got it today. Peeling the logo off. So get that one in here.
Made a good squeak.
It did make a great squeak. And oh no.
You finished it. Oh. Good. Oh. You would not even know. One wrap bike.
One wrap bike.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all, man.
I don't know if I wanted to.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
yeah.
all of it. Dead cabbage, whatever this thing is.
Good. Yep, exactly. Always. And just one more. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.